Hi and welcome to my video. In this I'm riding my latest acquisition, a Royal Enfield 350 Bullet Trials. This bike is an Indian-made 1990 frame with a later, I think post-year 2000 engine. Off the top of my head it said Trials pipe seat rack and bars, brand new loom, 21-inch front wheel, newest switch gear, Smith Speedo, which I'm finding a bit confusing because the needle starts where I'd expect 100 mile an hour to be on a normal speedo. It's got a brand new Amal Mark 1 concentric carb, which has been modified to make adjustment with the glove and easy. There's a K&N style filter coming off that carb. It's got a shroud placed on it so it doesn't get plastered in muck or suck any crap through when you're riding through mud. It's got the modified oil pressure release valve, Boyer power box, electronic ignition, upgraded clutch, upgraded stator. The ammeter is from a Bullet Machismo. It's easier to read than the original black one. There's a bash plate made by the seller on there. It's a pretty solid lump. There's a larger rear sprocket as well, which down gears the bike. This drops the top speed and shortens the gears, but it does mean it pulls like an absolute train, which is what you want off-road or in slippery stuff. I'm sure there's more to it than that doesn't spring to mind currently. I've also got a set of Hitchcock's aluminium mud guards that came with it. I need to fit them myself. They'll shave a bit of weight off. It's currently got steel ones. The bike was built along with two others as a 3-year labour of love by someone who had, well, far more engineering skills than I can express. Unfortunately for him, upon completion, sort of arthritis caught up with him, so riding these kind of things off-road I think was no longer a real option. It's probably the most pleasant bike buying experience I've ever had. Spent an hour and a half talking bikes, all things mechanical. Before leaving he even let me dive in his scrap pile where I extracted a bunch of the side toolboxes used on these bikes, which I've now bolted to my wall, and they make quite cool novelty looking storage in my garage. So that was on the weekend I bought the bike. It came home in the back of a mate's truck. I then took the bike for an MOT yesterday. It currently has no rear light, so I taped up the front and passed with the advisory no lights fitted. The guy I bought the bike off has promised me the rear light and the plate mount when he finds them in his workshop, so proper lighting and indicators are on the cards. I really don't recommend to anyone riding on the road without lights. Even in the daylight, the lack of a brake light means cars don't realise you're slowing down. I almost got rear-ended on the way to the MOT and on the way back from the MOT. If you excuse my poor off-roading skills in the video, other than road bikes, after long dry spells and bake the byways dry and the occasional go on people's dirt bikes, I haven't got a lot of experience off the tarmac, so it's all a bit of a learning curve. I think I managed to crash through every rut and pothole rather than swerve round them. I'm very lucky and blessed. I live 100 metres from a byway that puts me straight on Salisbury Plain. I'm at the Tidworth end of the plain for those that know it. I could then, in theory, get all the way to Warminster without seeing tarmac. The riding in this video is mostly the metal byways with a little bit of dry dirt and some tarmac riding. The tarmac riding's at the end. I only included that in the video because if you see it, you'll see there's a C-17 plane. If you squint hard, it actually does a supply drop. I caught it on camera without realising, I only noticed afterwards, but you'll see something come out the back and a parachute start to open. As I get more confident with the bike, I'll start trying more technical stuff. Across the plain you can find everything from the metal byways in this video through to just rough mud tracks. Yesterday was basically learning the bike. It's got a right hand gear change and what's to me a completely wrong way round shift pattern. So I've got to shift with a different foot in a different way. The gears proved easier than I thought to get used to. The back brake has actually proved more of an issue. I'm constantly stamping on the gear shifter instead of the back brake, which then upshifts. The only two faults I can really pick with the bike so far, the rear shocks I think need replacing with something possibly a little longer and a bit, for lack of a better word, boinier. The front end pretty much handled every rut and pothole that I clumsily smashed it through. The rear was a lot less confidence inspiring. It just seemed too hard, not much travel, almost like a hardtail. The seat could do with a sheepskin add-in. After 15 miles it becomes a bit of a numb bum plank. The big springs suspending it though are absolutely amazing. They absorb everything you bash through. I did notice though, if you bounce through a whole load of ruts in really rapid succession, the seat suspension goes out of sync with the bike suspension slightly, which is a very, very weird feeling. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Thanks for clicking to watch this video. Any questions or even tips and pointers about this bike? I don't know as much as I should about this older technology. Please feel free to leave them in the comments. And hopefully I'll see you all again soon.